Welcome back to the metal series, guys. Today we're going to be mixing drums finally. Part 1. If you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to do that and follow along. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff. So without further ado, let's hop right in. I'm going to show you guys the drum track. Alright, so not a perfect drum recording or anything like that, and I did just throw a little scratch track over it in the previous video of me recording the drums. But I think it's a cool little track that kind of gives us a good example of mixing for metal. So basically, guys, we're going to start from scratch, and I'm going to take every plugin off, and I'm just going to show you how I go about my process. Alright guys, so the first thing I like to do here is take all of my drum tracks and make them the same color. And usually I'll go with red. So I know that these are all my drum tracks. And I did cut out some toms. Probably a smart thing to do so you don't get all that bleed in there. But today, guys, all we're going to focus on really is the kick drum. So let's take a listen just to the kick. Kind of want to cut some things out, so we're probably going to do that. So I'm taking a lot out at around 300 there, and then I want to get some highs in there too, so I'm just going to raise this up. I'm going to take out a little bit around 1 to 200 too, leave a little bit of room for the bass. That's pretty good there, and then I might actually even gate it even more. So what I found is that if you use the virtual mix rack from Slate Digital, they actually have a really nice gate in there. So I may take all these off here. Maybe I'll leave the EQ. I love the virtual channel here. Just add some grit, some drive saturation in there. But I'll go to dynamics, I'll go to the gate, drums, and I'm just gonna adjust it. That's pretty good there. I'm going to crank up the drive a little bit. And then I'm going to turn up my input so I'm getting close to the red here. That's good. And then if it's necessary, I will make some EQ adjustments. Let's see what happens if we throw in some highs. Alright, that's fine. I took a little bit of the boxiness out. I added a little bit of, thud in there, or punch, if you want to call it, in the 50 hertz. And I wasn't really feeling it too much with the high end here. Maybe a tiny bit around 7K or whatever. But what I want to add is a compressor. So I'm going to find that. Let's see, should be on dynamics. Yeah, the FG401 I've been using a lot on drums. Slow attack, quick release. It's already set up the way I want it. Now all I have to do is adjust the threshold. I'm going to go with a 5:1 ratio. Then I'm going to back the mix off a little bit. Sometimes I'll mess with the circuits. A lot of the time I don't, because I don't hear that much of a difference. So I'm going to leave it on 1. Around 60% with the compressor. Now for the fun part, guys, what I am going to do is I'm going to add Steven Slate Trigger 2. I know what you're thinking. Triggers aren't good, samples aren't great, and all this and that. Nobody likes triggers. Sampling's fake. Well, when you're in a small room like I am and I don't have 20 different microphones, sometimes you gotta add triggers, and this is gonna help out our mix tremendously. So I'm gonna go into my browser and I'm gonna be using the GGD TCI samples that they provided me with when I got Modern and Massive, and I'm gonna pick the first kick drum here. I'm actually gonna go with the 24" by 14, and I'm gonna go ahead and load all of them in. So we'll do the direct, sub. I'm actually not gonna do the overhead, but I will do mono, far, and close room. What I'm gonna do here now is mute everything except for the direct, and let's check that out. Okay, good. Now I'm going to turn that all the way up. I'm going to make sure it's the same pitch as my original recorded kick drum. Okay, and then I'm going to tune the others exactly to 20, so I know that they're all in the same pitch. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the mix 100% up, so it's just having the sample. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix this down. So after I mix that down, now I'm going to label this as kick sample. I'm going to go ahead and unmute this track. I'm going to go back to where my trigger is, and now I'm just going to solo the kick sub, which is our kick out. Then I'm going to mix down that. So this will be our kick out. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process, and this time we're just going to solo all of the room tracks. And you guys can adjust these, to your liking. But I generally like to have them all, pretty even there. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix that down. And then we're going to label this one kick room. So the order I like to have these is kick sample right after my kick, then kick out, then kick room. So let's go ahead and check out the kick sample. Alright, so maybe we'll add the same EQ to this one. Throw the virtual mix rack on there so we can get some compression. I am going to take the low end off of there because now we're going to go to a kick out. EQ. Now what I don't want is all this high end in the kick out. Take that out and I'm going to throw this in. We're going to listen for it and we're going to take out what we don't need. It's a big cut, but we really don't need all that stuff, so I'm okay with taking it out. And I might do a little bit of bump here, 50 and below. Just so we can get some punch in there. And now I'm going to turn this all the way down. We're going to listen to both these. Actually, let's just mute this and let's level these two in together, our kick and our kick sample. First, we have to unmute our original kick recording. Whoop, almost forgot. We can now take off the trigger. We don't need that anymore. So let's remove that. All right, now let's take a listen. Okay, and now we're going to throw in our kick out. Okay, so just adding that low end in there, that thud, that punch. And now we get to add the kick room, which is going to give us that big kick sound. You guys can use whatever EQs work for you. I just enjoy using this one. So I'm probably going to take a little bit of low end out of that room and just add a little bit of high end in there. So that's pretty much it for the kick there. Let's make sure these are the same colors. And then I'm going to throw all the kick into a kick bus. Alright guys, so we have our kick bus, and once you guys have all of your different buses, we are going to make a snare bus, tom bus, overhead, room. You want to make sure all of these are going to a single drum bus, because that's when we're really going to do some mixed bus compression and cool stuff like that. But right now we have our kick bus, and it's up to you what you want to do to this. But in here, one thing that you can do is add some saturation, which is cool. So let's go ahead and add the virtual tape machine. I really like this. Now if you guys want to take off a little bit of the transient, I'd go with 15 IPS. I just flip all these just like that. So something like that, you know, smooths it out a little bit, helps it be a little bit more cohesive in the mix. And then another cool thing that I like to add on my buses is the SSL compressor. I think it's a really great compressor. Let's see here, SSL. So again, with a slower attack, a little bit quicker release, and then all we need to do is adjust the threshold. Then if you guys really want to get picky about it, you can go ahead and add another EQ and just take out some things that you don't like. So there you guys have it. That was part 1 of drum mixing in the metal series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part 2 because we're going to do snare drum next. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next vid. Thanks.